All right, the door is closed. I think that means we're ready to begin. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, each and every one of you, to the 2023 Hermosa Beach State of the City Address. I'm honored and humbled to stand before you. Welcome to this beautiful auditorium, this absolutely wonderful and historic gem. There's a lot of history here in this building. Many of you have witnessed it over the years, the music, the arts, the speakers. And so it's an absolute honor to take this stage tonight to add just a little bit to that history, to talk about the state of our best little beach city, to highlight our Hermosa pride, our Hermosa Beach team, and the Hermosa Beach progress that lies ahead. We all really do have so much to be proud of. Whether born here, very few of us were, or like the majority of us, relocating here and then realizing Hermosa Beach is a pretty special and amazing place. Our partners are part of the reason we're as good as we are. It's all of you. It's the power of the whole being greater than some of our parts. It's pretty simple. We achieve more by working together, and we are so fortunate to partner with some of the best around. And our progress. As I said, it's an exciting time to be in Hermosa Beach. There's so much happening. We are that city that offers something for everyone. Bravo. I agree. And the best is yet to come. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well tonight. I've been extremely fortunate and blessed over the years to have done some pretty cool things in my life. Some pretty cool places with some pretty cool people. And I must say that being mayor and council member of Hermosa Beach, the jewel of the Santa Monica Bay, ranks near the top. What an absolute honor it is to represent this city and all of you and our community. It has been an absolute privilege to have met and worked with so many of you who get it done every day. I often talk about two types of people. We have the doers and we have the talkers. And we all know the difference. We have the keyboard cowboys, the ones who complain and criticize about everything and do nothing, but we're not going to waste any time on them. I want to focus on you all, the doers, the dedicated and selfless people who get up and get it done every day, the doers who make a difference, the doers who make things better. Take a look around the room. Take a minute, look around, please. You all are the doers, people who show up, give their time and energy to our community. It's you all that make us proud of the place we call home. As my boys like to say, the grind never stops. So to all of you, the doers, the grinders, there's so many of you in our community, I say thank you. So typically, this is part of the introduction where you welcome the who's who in the zoo. We've got a lot of very prominent people, and we are extremely humbled and privileged to have you here today. The problem is, if you look around, you go, my God, we would spend literally 30 minutes going down the list of dignitaries who are there. So rather than go through the long list, please don't be offended if we don't call your name specifically. We can do it later if you really want to. But we just want to take a moment to recognize all of the people who are taking time out of their busy schedules, the folks that are so integral into what we're able to do in our city. Welcome you all. So we'll take a look for a few minutes here. And if we missed you, sorry. Thank you for what you all do each and every day, our partners, because it is the collective we. It's not about me, it's not about the council, it's not about the city staff, it's about what we can do collectively. It's the only way we can make things happen. So to kick things off, I'm going to introduce our former state assembly member and member of the state senate, County Supervisor Holly Mitchell. Supervisor Mitchell serves on the first and all-woman-led Board of Supervisors in the history of LA County. Pretty darn exciting. She was elected to Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors in November of 2020 and represents 2 million residents in the 2nd District, including all of us in Hermosa Beach. Ladies and gentlemen, our LA County Supervisor, Holly Mitchell.
Good evening, Hermosa Beach. I'm Holly Mitchell, and I'm proud to serve as your Los Angeles County Supervisor. I'd like to thank Mayor Jackson for the opportunity to join in welcoming you all to the State of the City for Hermosa Beach. I also want to extend a special thank you to the Hermosa Chamber and Tourism Board for hosting today and for all you do for Hermosa businesses and community. Mayor Jackson said it best when he said it takes a collaborative effort, and I couldn't agree more. As you hear updates today, please know that my office is proud to collaborate on solutions with Hermosa Beach and all the cities and our unincorporated communities across our district. You're here today because you're committed to this community. This is a commitment that we share. I'm proud to represent Hermosa Beach in LA County's 2nd District, and I want to thank all the residents, businesses, community partners, and the Hermosa City Council for your very warm welcome. Because it's you, the people of this city that live, work, and play here that make Hermosa so special, and I'm proud to not only represent you, but to work with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Mitchell, for the kind words. As has been said, democracy is not a spectator sport. And if we don't participate, it ceases to be a democracy. Because of the participation of each of you today, we can say today that the state of our city is strong and is growing stronger every day because of the pride we have in our community, the partners who make Hermosa, Hermosa, and the progress we continue to make as both a city and a community. And the engine that makes this beautiful city run is our dedicated and selfless city staff, led by our city manager, Suja Lowenthal, and her leadership team. This team will join me on stage. Hang on. Give me a sec. I know I'm excited too. This team will join me on stage to discuss our current state of affairs and the bright future that lies ahead. Now, please join me in welcoming your city staff. You can keep it going. All right, I'll start from my left. Director of Public Works, Joseph San Clemente. Carrie Ty, who stepped into the breach. Community Development. Myra, our fantastic city clerk, and if you don't know how much work she does, my God. Lisa Nichols, who's a rock star. I think Lisa has been working here since high school. She is just that good, but more importantly, that dedicated to our community. Chief Paul LeBaron. Those of you who have spent any time in our community know that we hit a grand slam when we'd hired our chief as well as everybody else. But our new police chief has set a tone that has set us apart from so many other cities. So we are in such a good place, thanks to Chief. And the puppet master, the one pulling all the strings, making it all happen, is our city manager, Suja Lowenthal. So I will be quiet for a few minutes and turn it over to your city staff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is this on? Yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. It is so nice to see all of you here. I will not imagine you naked. That is going to be something that Ray does. I never understood that, but I'm happy to see all of you. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see our community partners here this evening. I know there was a list on the slide earlier, but you all represent so many more individuals and organizations, and I want to thank you for your partnership. I am so very proud of our executive team, our leadership team, but our entire city staff, and I think they are so happy to serve this community, and I hope you feel that it's palpable every single day. Wanted to talk a little bit about our role here, my role particularly, and then turn it over to your team that's sitting here to my right. As the Chief Executive of City Operations, I oversee all municipal activities. I advise the City Council on the city's financial and capital improvement needs. I enforce all the laws and ordinances, manage the city's properties, appoint department heads and civil service employees. I represent management in the employer-employee relations and also coordinate intergovernmental relations. And then I do anything else that's needed. In a small city, we all wear many hats, which you've probably seen, so there isn't anything too big or too small that we don't do, and I hope that that's something that you've noticed, and that's part of why we love being here. As the city manager's team also manages and implements a variety of programs and responsibilities, which include communications and community engagement, city council agenda management, community advisory group coordination, emergency preparedness, environmental programs, homelessness response, grants management, information technology, legislative affairs, performance management, and special projects. And under special projects, it's everything that's not listed, so it's all duties as needed. An important focus of our office and the city manager's office continues to be working closely with our partners at Harbor Interfaith to reach out to people and give them a hand. That's right. I think you all may be familiar with Harbor Interfaith, but I wanted to share that they reach out to people living on our streets and in vehicles, so our unhoused residents. I believe Ramon Rendon and his team from Harbor Interfaith have joined us tonight, and we thank them for their partnership. We have also coordinated with the City of Redondo Beach to partner in its housing initiative court to offer much needed services to our unhoused. This year, we'll also be leading the city's mobile mental health pilot program made possible by a $1 million federal grant supported by Congressman Ted Lieu. And I wanted to thank the Congressman for that. I also wanted to introduce our Deputy City Manager. Many of you know her, Angela Crespi. Angela, could you stand wherever you might be? She is absolutely one of our rock star team members. She oversees our homeless outreach program and will be overseeing the mobile mental health response team, and she takes on many duties and responsibilities, but thank you, Angela, for everything that you do for us in this city. And perhaps the most critical initiatives by the city manager's team this year was assisting in continuity of operations and stabilization during vacancies and providing key support for initiatives. Like any winning team, recruitment of great talent, development of that talent, and retention are absolutely essential to success. We are focused on making our city a place where people want to work and are proud of working. I'd like to give a shout out to our human resources manager who could not be here today. Today was the night of open house at her son's school, and they get extra credit if you get your parents to come. So that's the reason why she's not here. But Vanessa Godinez, I want to thank her for helping us assemble an amazingly strong city team that has been essential to the progress we've made and are making. And I thank you, Vanessa, and hope open house goes well. Our finance director could not be here this evening. She was not feeling well, so I wanted to share a little bit about the role of our finance department, which is obvious, of course, but it is so very critical. The department is part of the foundation of city government, paying the bills, the employees' salaries and benefits, performing the accounting functions, financial reporting, auditing, cashiering, issuance of business licenses, animal licenses, and permits. One of the major accomplishments this year, and really every year, is completing the annual budget and capital improvement plan in conjunction with the city manager's office. So prior to the city council adopting their budget, I present the city manager's budget to them for their consideration and modification and adjustment as they deem fit. But the finance department, it is all hands on deck for many weeks to get this together, and it's quite a hefty task, and so I'm grateful to them for that. This year's budget is $55 million for the general fund, or $89 million if you include all special funds. The budget shows that some of the city's largest revenue sources, such as the transit occupancy tax or tax on hotel stays and sales tax, have recovered and even exceeded the prior year prior to the pandemic. So that's good news. Strategic community investments this year are in the central areas of personnel, technology, and foundational infrastructure. So if you read or had the chance to read the city manager's message introducing the budget, we really did talk about a back to basics approach. And this theater is an example of how we have so much by way of infrastructure in our city that we have to secure and improve our basic infrastructure. And so what we're hoping to be able to do is be sure we don't overlook those infrastructure repair and restoration needs in order to move forward. A lot of times it is much more exciting to work on new projects, and we as a team want to make sure our foundation is solid so that we can build on that. And that's why you have the back to basics message in the budget this year. Strategic community investments this year, as I said, are central. Personnel, technology, foundational infrastructure, capital improvements for us this year comprise almost $31 million, including carryover funds from the previous year. And we have a 5-year financial forecast that's also included as part of the budget. So if you're ever bored one day, please take a look. It's hundreds of pages, almost 500 pages. Our balanced budget not only meets our operational needs, but sets aside modest amounts of savings to meet our contingency, equipment replacement, and capital improvement fund reserve goals. We continue to honor our community's stated values of excellent fiscal stewardship of taxpayer dollars, neighborhood and school safety, thank you to our school district partners for being here, infrastructure that is maintained in good condition, and accessible, clean beaches, parks, and public spaces. With that, Mayor, I'd like to turn it over to Chief LeBaron.
Good evening, everybody. Sue just started her comments talking about a naked audience. Ann Yang is in charge tonight. You all know that, and she told me I have to be on my best behavior, so I will not be swinging at that softball that she threw me. We'll just leave that. But Mayor Jackson, thank you for this opportunity. I'm honored to represent the police department at tonight's event. My comments tonight reflect the hard work, the professionalism of every man and woman at the Hermosa Beach Police Department, both sworn and professional staff. The past year has been a year of growth and progress for our police department, as many of you know. We place an emphasis on our mission statement, and I'll read that to you. It's that we exist so Hermosa Beach can be the safest little beach city through partnerships, integrity, and excellent service. In my comments, I'm going to briefly highlight the values of partnership, integrity, and excellent service as the cornerstones of the success that we're experiencing at the police department. I'm going to start with partnerships. And I want to acknowledge there's a couple people in here that are part of it, and that's our Community Police Advisory Board that we rely on very heavily to help us make decisions. They are a phenomenal group of hardworking volunteers who give everything to us, and they will give us advice, input, and direction on how to do things that go everything from what to put on social media, how to deploy our officers, down to the font we use on the social or on the website, and it all helps. So thank you for that partnership. Also, though, it's no secret that recruitment, hiring, and retention is the top priority of law enforcement leaders throughout the region and the nation. I hear it as I speak to chiefs everywhere. The Hermosa Beach Police Department is not immune to that reality. However, with an emphasis on partnerships, and that is an internal partnership with our Human Resources Department and through the support of Suja and her city manager's office, all of our police department employees, our department, and all of our police department employees, our department has experienced unprecedented success in hiring and retention. We are currently fully staffed, and we are working on prospective employees as we plan for the future. From June 2022 through June of 2023, the Hermosa Beach Police Department conducted 11 recruitments for all police department positions, processed 622 applications, conducted 31 background investigations, and hired 26 new employees. Our emphasis now on, that's partnerships, on integrity has raised the bar for our police department operations. We've adopted the core values of honesty, integrity, and dedication. And we look to Sir Robert Peel's Principles of Policing, which were created back in the 1800s. And if you haven't read them, I suggest that you go online, find them, and read them, because that's our guide when we make organizational decisions. We recognize that we are leaders in our profession, and we must look beyond the current practices of law enforcement. Not to say they're doing it wrong, but what we know is that we have to consider what the right thing will be 5 years, 10 years, and even 20 years from now, and start making decisions based on that. We have implemented a leadership development program in the police department that includes mentoring, academic coursework, and an employee leadership course that's being facilitated by one of Hermosa Beach's residents, retired Air Force Colonel Rick Poplin, who's here tonight, and I want to thank him for that. I'm not allowed to ask him to stand up. He doesn't want to be that recognized, but he was recognized at last year's State of the City, so go back and watch the video and you can find him. As the Chief of Police, one of the most significant decisions I will make and that I continue to make is who is placed in positions of leadership within our police department. We've established a fair and thorough promotional process. It's founded on our mission, vision, and core values, Peel's Principles of Policing, and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. These efforts have resulted in some incredibly talented leaders that are being elevated to lead our department now and into the future. Over the past year, the police department has promoted 2 captains, 3 sergeants, 1 police services officer supervisor, 6 field training officers, and 5 watch commanders. Each of these leaders has shown ethical leadership skills that include listening to the community and building a culture of employee wellness within the department. And finally, I want to highlight the expectation of excellent service that has founded a foundation of the police department. A common phrase that's heard within the department by our officers is no call too small. Over the past year, I have heard stories and seen examples of where that has taken many forms, which include changing a mother's flat tire when she was trying to take care of her children, bringing an elderly community member a case of water when they can't leave the house, employees in the field spending their own money to fill up a gas tank when a car runs out of gas, or just finding a lost set of keys when nobody else was available to help. Our employees come to the city understanding that working in Hermosa Beach is different. The expectation of a small town community is very personal, and it's not okay to say that's not my job. But the payoff for our employees is the love and the support that we feel and receive from the majority of those who live and work in Hermosa Beach. And that is not something that every police department experiences. The police department's placed an emphasis on technology to provide excellent service, and we are utilizing that new technology, such as the automated license plate readers, drones, computer software that investigates internet crimes against children, and high-definition cameras to serve as force multipliers in our crime-fighting efforts. Their efforts have led to safer contacts with our community and increased efficiency in identifying and locating the people who are responsible for committing crime. Mayor Jackson, I want to thank you and your leadership for allowing the police department and its employees to look forward to more service opportunities in the future. And I will turn it over to Lisa Nichols.
Thank you, Chief LeBaron. I am so proud to sit up here with this wonderful team that our city manager has built this evening, and of the Community Resources Department team that I am so fortunate to serve as Community Resources Manager for. What an amazing and busy year it has been. To begin with a review of the year, our team oversees all of these special events on public property here in the city. We work with numerous community members, nonprofit, and commercial organizations to permit these events. This past year, we have processed over 50 event permits, which means that we have been able to offer our community 50 different events to enjoy. This includes many annual favorites, including our International Surf Festival, Shakespeare by the Sea, Movies at the Beach, and Fiesta Hermosa, just to name a few. We permit and review these events with our police department, public works, community services, community development, LA County Fire Department, and LA County Lifeguards. In addition, our department also hosts our own events, and we do so with community members and organization support. So we have our Surfers Walk of Fame weekend annually that we partner with Spider Surfboards and the South Bay Board Riders Club and the Hermosa Beach Museum on. We also have our Veterans Day ceremony that we work with community members on, Mike Flaherty and Stephen Creasy, original Veteran Memorial Committee members. We have our Coastal Cleanup Day that we partner with Heal the Bay on. That's coming forth this month, so make sure to check the city calendar for more information. We have community movie nights here in this wonderful community theater. And this year, we worked with Family Theater Inc., who's in attendance as well tonight, and the Hermosa Beach Museum to add additional elements to those events. We also have our annual Sand Snowman contest, and we have an annual Hermosa 5-0 Senior Activity Center open house. We celebrated our 13-year anniversary at this year's open house. Our department has continued to ensure that our beach parks and facilities and recreation services throughout these locations are available for the community's enjoyment year-round. We offered over 500 different classes, camps, and league sessions over the past year for all ages, and we have processed over 350 facility reservation permits and outdoor fitness permits throughout these locations. We completed a successful first year of our Park After School program at our new location at South Park, and we just kicked off our second year there. We recently completed another successful season of Valley Park Summer Day Camp, and this past summer we were able to bring back our beloved excursions as part of that camp, where we take camp participants to fun places each week, such as Not So City, which is one of the most popular excursions. And we continue to also offer our community-wide excursions, and most recently sold out 2 buses for a day trip to Catalina Island this past month. So as we continue to offer these services, we have much more to come in the future. This year, our department, alongside many members of our city team, are working hard on the development of a new Parks Master Plan. Parks Master Plans are incredibly important action plans for cities. They determine the current and future beach, parks, facilities, and program needs for up to 20 years. These needs are determined through community engagement and an evaluation of all the current uses and maintenance of these facilities and our recreation services. So to all of you that are with us tonight, we cannot express enough how important it is for you to provide your input through this project to help shape the city's future of parks and recreation, and please encourage your neighbors to do the same. Our next community-wide workshop is Wednesday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at City Hall's Council Chambers. We encourage you to join us. If you're not available to join us, you can still provide input at any time on Parks and Recreation at the project page. It's hermosabeach.gov/parksmasterplan through the Community Voice section. And you can also learn additional information about the project there and the timeline. We do anticipate having the Parks Master Plan completed and presented in March or April of 2024. Additionally, we are very happy to announce that in 2024, annual concerts on the beach will be returning, with the city serving as host. The Hermosa Beach Concert Series will begin next year with 2 concerts on the beach in 2024 on the 2 Sundays following Labor Day weekend. We are so excited to bring back this long-standing community tradition, and I want to give a shout out. We want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for stepping up this year to host the events, to allow us the time to form the plan for the city to serve as hosts in the future. So before I conclude, for those that don't know, our community resources offices are located on the first floor of the community center here. The community center is open every day from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come visit us, come meet members of our team, and we can share way more about our services that we offer. Thank you, Mayor Jackson, for allowing me the opportunity to share this tonight. And I will pass it over to Myra, our city clerk.
Thank you, Lisa. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to start by briefly going over some of the main functions of the clerk's office, which I know a lot of people may not be very well aware of. Our office is responsible for coordinating our local elections and ensuring all applicable local, state, and federal laws are followed. We oversee local legislation that starts with publishing the City Council agenda to codifying local laws passed by the City Council. And we oversee city records. Those are some of the main highlights. Now, a main highlight from this past year is during the November 2022 election, my office revamped the elections webpage, launched a new and improved candidate handbook, and issued nomination papers at an in-person candidate workshop that invited prospective candidates and members of the press. Additionally, my office coordinated a candidate meet and greet with the city's executive team and launched a new City Council handbook for the election. Currently, my office is working to launch a new agenda management system with eScribe to streamline and standardize our agendas, minutes, and staff reports, not only for City Council meetings, but for all boards and commissions. We are working diligently to launch this project early next year, and eScribe will offer the public the option to e-comment directly on the published agenda and streamline all other processes associated with our meetings. Ultimately, it will improve our efficiencies and standardization efforts. Regarding records, my office recently updated the city's retention schedule, which is helping departments organize their records and properly dispose of records that have met their retention. And as we all know, we are limited in space, so this is something that has been very helpful. We hired the services of a professional organizer who has been key and instrumental in organizing our record centers. Our record center, and if any of you have been to the Carrie movie tour where it was filmed, that's actually our current record center. So that's a very special place, as you can imagine. And so additionally, this has really helped to locate, her work has really been instrumental in helping us to locate the important city records when conducting research to support the many complex projects that my colleagues are working on. Additionally, it ensures that we can locate records to respond expeditiously to public records requests. Last but not least, a main highlight from this past year and that we are working on is we are digitizing records and hope to launch a portal to give you access to those records, such as resolutions and ordinances in the coming year. Thank you so much, Mayor, for the opportunity to highlight some of my team's wonderful work. And a special thank you to my Deputy City Clerk, Rihanna Guzman, for her efforts and services to the city and department. Next, we have Carrie.
Thank you, Myra. Excuse me. So good evening, everybody. And before I start, I wanted to acknowledge Mayor Jackson and City Manager Lowenthal and the executive team and all of you for giving me the privilege of serving as the city's new community development director. I'm not that new anymore. I've been here about 8 months. But I thought one of the most serendipitous moments I had was about a week before I started, I met this wonderful executive team, and Lisa Nichols over here told me that Hermosa Beach was one of the filming locations of the 1976 Stephen King horror film, Carrie. And I thought, oh, perfect match. And so perhaps that was a foreshadowing to this past year and all of the work we've had to do, which was a little scary. But I'm proud to be here tonight to tell you about the accomplishments that my department has had. So we are a small and mighty department. We are composed of 13 individuals. And earlier last year, as City Manager Lowenthal mentioned, the city organization had quite a recruitment challenge. 11 of my 13 staff members are new, and I'm one of the newer ones. And so talking about building the airplane while you're flying it, but I think we've managed to accomplish a lot throughout the year. Before I talk about our accomplishments, I'll say the Community Development Department manages the built environment. We manage the built environment in the present, in the future, and sometimes in the past. We have to fix problems that happened in the past. So we have a couple of divisions that do that. Our planning division does two things. They look very far ahead, 20-year down the line blueprint for the general plan. So about 6 years ago, ago, there was the adoption of Plan Hermosa. That's something that the Planning Division does. This recent year, we oversaw the adoption of the revised housing element, which is the city's housing plan for the next 8 years, ensuring that the community members, their relatives, friends, family members, and people looking for quality housing in general can find housing in the city and afford it. That we are planning for all, and we do that beyond housing. Throughout the general plan, there's also the parks element, the open space element, I should say, the safety element, the mobility element. So the planning division is in charge of planning the entire sort of snow globe blueprint of the city into the next 20 years. And so that's how far in the future we look. But the planning division also regulates current regulations. And so you'll have developers come in and making sure that they have enough parking, that they meet the height limits, that they have adequate landscaping. And those are things that implement the city's vision for the future. Some of the things that the Planning Division, in addition to the housing element, have accomplished this year is that we updated the city's accessory dwelling unit ordinance. As you've read in the news, probably that's been a popular topic across the state, where the state is encouraging the facilitation of more housing. So we've updated our ordinances to facilitate that. We've also updated our ordinance regarding timeshares to make sure that housing units aren't being used for a purpose other than for housing. And so that way we can make sure we balance the community needs over, for example, maybe some other more profit-generating needs. The Planning Division is also in the process of a zoning code update. Our zoning code, I don't know the last time it was comprehensively updated, but I hear more often than not from business owners coming in, from people looking at accomplishing modern construction. They say, well, your zoning ordinance doesn't allow me to do what everybody else is doing. And so we're working at modernizing the regulations so that people can come up to today's time. So let me talk a little bit about managing the ongoing and existing built environment. Building and Safety Division makes sure that all the construction around the city complies with building codes. Does inspections to make sure contractors are constructing homes according to plans. You'd be surprised at what you see out there. And then also the internal procedures. This year, we finally adopted a internet-based inspection request system. And once I tell you how many requests we do, you'll realize how many phone calls that has saved my staff. We handle over 3,500 building inspections a year in this little city. And when people were scheduling inspections, they were calling us probably 2 to 3 times. So that's about 10,000 phone calls we were able to eliminate with the adoption of an internet-based system. You know, that's one way we can get with the times. Other ways, electronic plan check. We're going to reduce paper plans. A new permit tracking system that we are configuring so that we can make sure we can understand our turnaround times. We can understand where there are places for improvement throughout the whole system. And that helps our development community. Why is that important? Because reinvestment is something that private property owners take on. That's part of the theme of tonight, where the city doesn't build private housing. The city doesn't build private development. We rely on the community to partner with. And it's our job to make it easier and more streamlined and more predictable for people to do business with the city. This past year, we issued over 1,300 building permits. So if you multiply the time saved by implementing some of these more efficient systems, time is money, and money is happiness, and so hopefully we're building a happier community. Speaking of happy, quality of life is very important to everybody throughout the city. Our Code Enforcement Division works tirelessly to manage quality of life issues around the city, and that's everything ranging from early construction to leaf blowers to neighbor fence issues, overgrown landscaping, noise, alcohol-related violations. And so with that, we have 2 officers that are out running around all day long responding to complaints, and they have a follow-up inspection list that would keep them busy for weeks. We are using a tracking system now that when you report into Go Hermosa and the officers put in a note that they conducted a follow-up inspection, you automatically get a ping on the app. So the person who reported something has a way to interact with the city, and our field officers can put in the note. They don't have to make an extra phone call. So that's another way we're using technology to help make our operations more efficient. So I talked a little bit about partners, but how are we partnering for progress? So one of the things that we're continuing to do is manage change in the city. That's the one constant thing we have to deal with, is managing change. How are we responding to needs? So the Community Development Department, on an ongoing basis, partners with all of the city departments. We partner with Public Works when it comes to private public property edge conditions and construction vehicles and outdoor dining. We partnered with finance as well as the city manager's office on helping with the parking permit procedures. We partner with the city clerk because a lot of her records requests come from people looking for their property records. So, we rely on each other, but I think overall, as we work together to collaborate, we're able to produce and enhance the city services that we provide to everybody. So over the next year, we're going to be taking on a lot of additional projects. One of the things I'm proud to mention is that we partner with all the city departments on the economic development strategy. And one of the second year implementation items that I'm most excited about is the live music implementation. And I see Jessica Accomando at the chamber, one of our partners, by the way, who will be working tirelessly next to me, nodding from the front row. So with that, I wanted to thank everybody and thank the mayor and the executive team for giving me the opportunity to share this year's accomplishments. And I look forward to continuing to provide excellent municipal services to the community and participate in continuous improvement as the year goes on. So thank you so much. With that, I will turn it over to Public Works Director Joe San Clemente.
All right, good evening. Thank you, Carrie. Just want to start off by saying how much I really enjoy being part of this great team that Madam City Manager has assembled and being able to serve this community. And more importantly, I'm really honored to be here on behalf of our extremely dedicated, hardworking Public Works team. This past year has been a busy one for the department, including preparing for and responding to weather-related events in partnership with other city departments, community members, and county officials. From Tropical Storm Hillary to several strong winter storms that brought us historic levels of rain, high surf advisories, our team stayed busy with beach operations, responding to downed trees, and filling potholes. During the storms, we worked closely with our partners at LA County Fire Lifeguard Division to ensure that our pier remained safe for public use. Our Public Works team also worked hard to engage a contractor to advance necessary structural and electrical repairs in advance of next winter season, while retaining access to our pier during construction. In August, our team was very excited to have reached substantial completion of the City Park restroom project that delivered 5 new and renovated restroom facilities in our parks. We also take pride in improving safety of our roadways in close partnership with our police and other city departments in response to concerns that are raised by the community. This past year, we worked to lower speed limits on Pier Avenue and Hermosa Avenue, as well as on roadways adjacent to our schools. We implemented a ped safety project on Hermosa Avenue at 6th Street. We introduced a safety pilot project on the Strand in response to concerns about e-bikes. And we've expedited the procurement of rectangular rapid flashing beacons that will very soon be deployed at 10 intersections throughout the city to further enhance pedestrian safety. Staff has also expanded our partnership with the South Bay Parkland Conservancy this year to include Leadership Hermosa's class project that added additional native plantings on our beautiful greenbelt to help restore native habitat for butterflies, birds, and other pollinators like the endangered El Segundo blue butterfly. The Public Works team remains absolutely committed to continuing to enhance and expedite the delivery of our city's ambitious capital improvement program, which now includes a plan for more than $30 million of investment. Just this week, Council approved an item to modernize our procurement process through alternative bidding, which will greatly expedite the delivery of smaller construction, maintenance, and repair projects, vastly improving our ability to respond to the city's growing needs. And earlier this year, we were able to add 2 senior engineers to our team that allows us to restructure the engineering department and further enhance project delivery. This year, the CIP has a renewed focus, as Madam City Manager mentioned earlier, with a back-to-basics approach, prioritizing deferred maintenance projects, safety projects, and other high-priority foundational projects, such as our Clark Building renovation and Greenbelt Accessible Trail, which are now quickly nearing for advertisement for construction. In addition, the city has completed intersection improvements at Pier and PCH. We've done curb ramp improvements on Prospect Avenue, sidewalk improvements on Longfellow, accessible path improvements for our mats on the beach. And we've now initiated a new annual sidewalk grinding program to reduce trip hazards and improve pedestrian safety and accessibility throughout the city. Later this month, we'll also be awarding a contract at City Council to advance a significant resurfacing effort that will include the entirety of Prospect Avenue and several other priority roadway segments. We have a lot of exciting projects coming and underway, and we look forward to delivering them for the community. I also want to take a moment to remind everyone that you can partner with the Public Works team by using the Go Hermosa app. We encourage you to download it and send in your maintenance requests and report them to the city. And with that, thank you for all your time, and I'd like to pass it back to our mayor.
Thank you. For those who don't have the Go Hermosa app, go to your settings right now, download the app. It is the best way to inform our city of what's happening. If it's an emergency, you know what to call 911. If it's a non-emergency, there's another call. But if it's related to facilities or short-term vacation rentals or something you see that the city needs to be aware of, please go to the app. I mean, you can tell me, but I'm old, I forget things now. But it's so much easier. You go to the app, you put in the location, what the issue is. Before you know it, you're going to see, oh, they're filling the pothole. Because it goes directly to the director who oversees the operation to ensure that whatever we need to address, we can address. So that, as Joe said, is the best way that you can help us get more things done in our city. So before we turn these great folks loose, I want to take a quick second to recognize the folks who are responsible for all of this. I just show up and put a mic on and chat, but there are a lot of folks that do a lot of work to make this happen, from staging and lighting, and Ann, who cracks the whip. She says, you gotta stay on schedule, and because I veer off my script from time to time, as I'm doing now. But I just want to thank Cambria and Lisa and Ryan and our light guys and our mic guys and everybody else. So thank you all. Our great vendors. I think we had some wine. Where are our wine folks? Where are they? There they are. Thank you. No, where are they? They're somewhere. Where's Uncorked? They're back here somewhere. All right. Thank you, Uncorked. Thank you, Starbird. What else did we have? Oh, our lemonade. Yes, our lemonade. Athens service. They are, I tell you, we are blessed to have Athens. I talk to other communities, and we've got Athens. They are always here when we need them. You know, if they accidentally forget your can and you call them, they are there making things happen. I see a trash can filled, I send a text, 10 minutes later, somebody's come to empty it. So we are fortunate to have so many great partners who are doing so many great things for our city. So thank you all for making this happen. So before we release our great leadership team, we have a birthday boy. So you don't have a birthday in Hermosa Beach without having TJ. So if you all will take a moment to help sing to, who's my birthday? Oh, Joe. Let's go, Joe. Stand up, stand up. 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joe. Happy birthday to you. All right, one more thing. Thank you. Please, all city staff members, please stand up and let's thank you. I know we got some law enforcement folks back there. Thank you all. I mean, it is a tough environment out there right now. Good people are getting poached. And many of you know that. Our educators are seeing that happen. It's happening. We're looking for good people too. So we're not ashamed of poaching a good guy from somewhere else if we need to, or a good gal, right? But, the challenge is we got to find good people, which we have, and you got to keep good people, right? So if we say, hey, we need a little more money, maybe that tax rate might be a good thing to vote for. Just saying here, But anyway, seriously, we've got great teammates who are doing great things for our city. So thank you for the support. Thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you for what you do every day for our city. Thank you. He had no idea that was coming. It's beautiful. All right. So in addition to recognize our incredible city staff, we're going to take a moment now to shine a light on some of our community partners who help make our city special. Many of our partners provide the economic engine that help to drive this city. So representing our business community and a purveyor of joy, I'd like to welcome Jessica Accomando, President and CEO of the Hermosa Beach Chamber of Commerce, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor Jackson. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Forgive me, I did not memorize what I have to say, and you don't want me to go on all night. So I'll thank you all for coming. We are proud as a chamber to host tonight. We'd like to thank some of our sponsors, which Mayor Jackson already kind of did, but Starbird, Uncorked, Athens Services, and of course the Chamber. We very much enjoy producing tonight's event, so thank you. The Chamber is proud to be a trusted partner with the city, and we've been working very hard for lots of progress. For example, this year, in partnership with Leadership Hermosa Beach, we introduced Hermosa's first ever Lemonade Day. It's a national program, and we're proud to bring it to Hermosa. And if I may have our Lemonade Day Sawyer join me on stage. So for those of you who don't know,
bring the team, come on up.
Come on up. So we had 7 participants join in the entrepreneurial program and learn what it's like to open a business. They got health department permits from LA County. They got lessons from Sky One, our financial partner, and received a loan for that, and got a whole training on how to open a business and how to operate. And I'm proud today to tell you that Sawyer Curse is our winner of this year's Hermosa Beach Lemonade Day.
Photo, come on. Here, come on. All right, congratulations.
Thank you so much. What's very exciting about this program is that Sawyer automatically, as the winner, entered in to compete nationally amongst many other entrepreneurs across the country. And we will find out if Sawyer wins or not, but we are very excited. The winner gets to go to the White House and meet the president. So it's a very exciting program. Thank you. By the way, a 7th grader at Hermosa Valley. So please come to the City Council meeting on September 25th as we recognize all of our winners, including other winners in other categories like Most Creative and thus forth. So please come to the council meeting on the 25th. And in the spirit of partnership, so many great things happened this year. We honored 7 incredible businesses at the Best of Hermosa Awards in February. We honored Person of the Year to Raphael McMaster of Indivisible Arts. We've had thus far 8 ribbon cuttings, and we have 4 coming up, and we appreciate the mayor comes to every single one of them, so we're grateful for that. And we're proud to have produced some amazing events in partnership with the city this year, including the St. Patrick's Day Parade, Fiesta Hermosa Memorial Day, beach concerts as mentioned earlier, in partnership with Friends of the Parks for their movies at the beach. And we have more coming up this winter, including the 3rd annual Hermosa for the Holidays event. We are grateful for the support from our broader community organizations like the LA Kings, LA Galaxy, LA Chargers, the Rams, Chevron, Athens, Skechers, Sky One Federal Credit Union, Coca-Cola, Baja Sharkies, Patrick Malloy's, St. Rock, Cal Water, and so much more. I just mentioned some of the big ones, but I'm sure all of you can think of all of the people you see on all of our posters and promotions that support these community events. They literally contribute over $340,000 a year in financial and in-kind support. But what I'm most excited about is happening in 2 weeks for our Local 90254 Oktoberfest themed event happening here in Hermosa Beach. It is sure to be a ton of fun on Saturday and Sunday, September 30th and October 1st, and it is a family fun event for all ages. We've got a carnival, we've got contests. If you're practice yodeling, maybe pretzel eating, some stein hoisting, costume contests. We've got stuff for everybody, in addition to, of course, your traditional beer tents. So please make sure you join us, come out for this event, and prove to the businesses that we can produce a large event that supports our economic stability in this town in the off-season. So please join us that weekend. I don't want to forget to mention that the LA Kings are sponsoring the main stage, so you know there's going to be a lot of fun, so please come. Before I pass the mic back to Ray, we at the Chamber and our 480 members, I just paused to let you clap for that because that's impressive. Want to remind you that we're more than just a business organization. We're proud to be a part of the fabric of Hermosa, and we look forward to many more fun events and projects and progress points in Hermosa Beach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give it up to Jessica one more time. A true Hermosa Beach gem. Thank you. Thank you for what you do every day. I know my fellow council member Rob Saman's getting ready for that yodeling contest. So just real quick, if my fellow council members can stand, just real quick moment, recognition. Thank you. And I said we weren't going to go down the line of who's who in the zoo, but we do have two former, well, tons of former, but Mary and Stacy, you want to be standing, giving them some love. And then we got George Barks and Smeltzer, and we got commissioners and everybody else. So all the great folks that are doing great things for our city, thank you all. Parks and Rec, Public Works, thank you, commissioners. So, what are we going to talk about next? Let's talk about our schools. You're coming. We got to talk about our schools, though, right? All right, they're coming. Hang on, boys. I know. Hey, this is your excuse. Tell your teachers. The mayor writes you a note or something. You're good. All right. This is important. This is part of your civic education. You can say you sat through and learned actually what a city does, right? Pretty riveting, isn't it? There'll be a test on that later. But anyway, we're so lucky to live in this great community. The best little beach city also has the best little beach schools. And we are fortunate to have these top-rated schools. From our preschool to our after-school programs, our education system in Hermosa Beach is second to none. Bill Gates said that making sure all our students get a great education, find a career that's fulfilling and rewarding, and have a chance to live out their dreams wouldn't just make us a more successful country, it would almost also make us a more fair and just one. And leading our outstanding school district to ensure just that is the incomparable and best-dressed superintendent ever, Dr. J himself, Dr. Jason Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, wow. Only George Barks ended up naked for me. You working out there, George? First off, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge our board member, Maggie Bove-LaMonica, is in the house tonight. And even though he ditched us, we'll even recognize Stephen McCall. He's a former board member as well, too.
Yes.
As I can attest with council, a school district or a city is only as good as its elected officials. They put the right people in place, and then we put the right people in place. So I'm just very grateful to the board's work. I mean, like, we've come a long way in the last 4 years, and I truly think we've made a difference. But a big reason for that is because of the partnership with the city. Ironically, Chief LeBaron and I came in around the same time, and I remember calling him, or he called me, and schools were closed, and I was like, hey, I want to work with you. And he's like, believe it or not, I want to work with you too. And really that began a journey of partnership where first we were collaborating on working with the schools through COVID. Then that turned into keeping our schools safe and the threats that now come to our campuses, unfortunately. And the thing that I just want to also second is I agree that there's talkers and there's doers, and I like to go. And the thing that I appreciate about the city is they like to go. And so Chief LeBaron brought in an FBI agent, and we led a tabletop exercise, and every staff member of the city and the police force showed up that day. Huge commitment, with everyone from the schools, and we worked all day making sure that we were the most prepared school district in the South Bay. I don't know of another school district that has done that with their city. When we came back from COVID, I called the chief and I said, Chief, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's these electric motorcycles that are showing up on campus. What can we do? And we started, a conversation about e-bikes. And the thing that I appreciate about our work together is we didn't talk about, woe is us, these e-bikes. And I do think there's a lot of talk like that. We immediately got to work and partnered and started creating safety videos with HBPD to educate our students with our smart bicycle safety. The city took steps themselves in order to promote bicycle safety. And then just this last week, we are the first school district that I'm aware of, in collaboration with the city as well as HBPD and the Cycling Coalition, to require an e-bike certification course in order to park your bikes on our campuses. Furthermore, in the South Bay, we were sitting in a panel and we were talking about, the panel was about the dangers of fentanyl. And, it's for the whole South Bay. And of course, who is the one person that's in the lead of this panel for the whole South Bay? Chief of Police, Paul LeBaron, giving information much needed to our families at the South Bay about the dangers of fentanyl, which I truly believe is a modern crisis of our time. Yes. And then, I went to Chief and I said, Chief, this is great. I'm glad we're talking to these parents, but it ain't gonna make a difference unless we're talking to kids. Yep. And so the Chief of Police said, you're right. Let's put a panel together and we'll get in front of kids. And no less than a month later, we were sitting there in the panel with all of our 8th graders, having a conversation with them about the dangers of fentanyl and educating those kids, because that's what's really gonna save a life. And finally, I got to please give a shout out to the incredible job that Public Works does, along with Suja as city manager. I've been in construction for the last 4 years, rebuilding our schools. Thank you, Measure S and the community of Hermosa Beach. But you don't get 2 schools rebuilt, or one school that's new and one school rebuilt in the middle of COVID without a lot of help from your community and your city. And I just want to give a special thanks to Public Works and the city for making that happen. We have the most stunning facilities in the South Bay. Our kids go to school and they overlook the ocean quite literally, which is funny because only adults appreciate it. The kids are like, that's cool. But I'm just incredibly grateful for the partnership with the city. It truly is, It comes off as cliche, but like I do mean it. When you look around in this room, you are what makes the difference. I'm from San Pedro, which has a lot of pride as well also. But I love being part of your community because I recognize it in my own. And I'm very grateful to be part here over the last 4 years because I truly got to bear witness to a community that pulled together when other communities were ripping each other apart. And it truly has made a difference, and that's why I think that you're on top and you're where you are today. And thank you for being part of that. I want to highlight that when I met Ray, he was on the Equity and Inclusion Task Force in the midst of COVID. That was my first experience with him. And as part of that initiative, one of the things that we set out to do was to beautify our campuses and have the look of our campuses be inclusive. And so one of the recommendations was mural projects. And so now flash forward 4 years later, as these murals are underway, and Hermosa Valley Gym, if you've ever been in it, is beautiful, but it has prison-like walls on the interior. And we're like, man, we got to do something about these walls. And so thus I came in contact with Armel and then eventually Emily, and they have made the most beautiful mural. It is absolutely incredible, and so I would like to invite them up and have Ray recognize them because their work truly is a work of art. You must see it, and I believe we're going to showcase it tonight.
Last night I closed my eyes, but I got no rest. The secret deep inside pounding in my chest. And when I try to hold you, you just turn away, turn away. Your silence is so loud. I drove myself right out. I wanna fly away higher in the air than together. See you in the red sun. There's no going back now. See you in the red sun. There's no going back
Come on up, Dr. J. Come on up. It is with great pleasure that we introduce two Hermosa Gems. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. J, come on up. Come on. No, you get the stage in the center right here. Unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. That's, you can't watch that and not be moved by that, right? Talk about a labor of love, right? Thank you, ladies, for giving your heart, your creative juices to creating a space that we will live in perpetuity. So thank you. On behalf of our wonderful community, thank you for what you do. And you will now be the proud recipient of the highly coveted HB. We have Mark Mammer to thank for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I think Dr. J, after 4 years, has finally earned one. What do you think? But this epitomizes what this community is all about, right? And just people getting stuff done. There you go. That's the Dr. J look, right? See, he's a little young. He's a little hipper than us, so he can pull that off. My kids will be like, "You're not him." But thank you to your education team. Please stand up, you guys. Oh, come on. Come on. Stand up, get up, come on. You know, it's the Ed Foundation, it's the PTO, it's the schools, it's the school board, it's the advisory groups. I mean, we are so blessed that in such a small town, we've got such a great school system. And thank you all for what you do every day. below the radar. Not everybody knows what you do, but we will make it known. That was fantastic. So thank you all. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Can I just say a little word?
Absolutely.
I just want to
please.
I just want to thank Jason Johnson, our superintendent, who had the audacity to trust me. He knew nothing about me, and he gave me the permission to dream, to see big, and to make the impossible, the unthinkable possible, and it happened. It took a year of lots of self-doubts, lots of excitement, and, it was hard to believe that this space he entrusted us with, more than 2,000 square feet, right? 2,700. That we could we could do that. I spent the whole year. I never told him that, but I spent the whole year having those dreams, more nightmares, like seeing myself and Emily as ants in this huge gym and wondering how we're going to do that. And it finally happened with a lot of trust, one more time, from you and from Jessica, who literally gave us wings and such freedom to create with absolutely no boundaries. You really knew how to let the artists, give freely, and I'm really, really appreciative for that. I am so happy that we were able to contribute to the embellishment of the campus, and especially to give the kids something to look beyond those gray walls. Hopefully with our design, they can now see what's around them with no limits.
I don't think I can top that, Armel. Dr. Johnson, I just want to say I know how much work it takes I don't even know how much work it takes to bring a project like this to fruition, and I'm truly grateful to have the opportunity to paint in your school district, to paint in the city of Hermosa Beach. And Mayor Jackson, it fills my heart to see it celebrated like this tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you. One more time. One of the hardest things in preparing for this and trying to figure out what the theme was and what we were going to do and all that was just trying to, I kept wanting to add. It was like, no more. This thing is going to be at 9 o'clock. It's going to be like the presidential State of the Union where you're up there for 2 and 3 hours. And there are just examples after examples of things like this that are happening in our city. So thank you for allowing us to spotlight your small part of making our community that much greater. So thank you. There was an old baseball player named Yogi Berra. I think he visited Clark Field once because he said, Little League Baseball is a very good thing because it keeps the parents off the streets. And those of you who've been to Clark Field totally get it. We love going to Clark. I think we love it more than the kids do. Hermosa Beach Little League is second to none. It's not just about watching the game, it's about the community that it brings together and fosters. It's a special place that oftentimes your kid's like, I'm done with baseball. We're like, no, you're playing another year because I'm not ready to give up Clark Field yet, right? Many of you can attest to that. It is truly a special place, so we force our kids to play longer than they'd like to sometimes. It's a magical place. We talk about Clark Field magic, where the whole of community experiences great opportunities.
Thank you all for coming on such short notice. I'd especially like to thank Mayor DeToy, Jessica Comanda, President of the Hermosa Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Johnson, Superintendent of Hermosa Schools, and Officer Dalton. We don't want to alarm anybody, but Registration for the 2023 Hermosa Beach Little League season will be closing on December 2nd. It's recently come to our attention that many parents in Hermosa think that that's a long way away and they've got lots of time, and that just simply is not the case. We need everybody to get to hermosabaseball.com as quickly as possible and get their ballers signed up for the season. With that, I'm happy to take any questions at this time. Yes.
Will the T-ball division be cute this year?
Our sources indicate that this year's T-ballers will both be small in stature as well as generally clueless about the sport of baseball. When you combine those two factors together, the cute yield tends to be extremely high. Yes.
Are local businesses allowed to support Hermosa Beach Little League?
Jessica, you want to take that one?
Yes, absolutely. Sponsoring the Little League is like sponsoring the Super Bowl, except less expensive and way more Hermosa.
Yes.
What's the best way to stay informed about the league?
Yes, everybody should follow at Hermosa Baseball on Facebook and Instagram. Our social media channels have received numerous awards from the National Youth Sports Marketing Association. Even though that's not true, it doesn't mean we wouldn't win those awards if such an association actually existed. Yes, thank you. Okay, with that, again, can't thank you enough for your time. God bless Hermosa Beach. God bless Clark Field. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Hermosa Beach Little League president, Mark Mamber.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Johnson, very impressive. Having everything memorized, that's, yeah. Fun fact, we have produced and sold close to 2,000 Hermosa Beach Little League hats this season. Roughly 40% of them are owned and worn by Mayor Jackson here.
Keep it local, baby.
Very
Keep
impressive.
It local.
Very impressive indeed. I want to thank Ann for organizing tonight, especially giving me a dramatically better seat than Jeff Neer. So thank you. Thank you very much. That video, I love it very, very much. DeToy was a bit of a prima donna with his dressing room demands and all that kind of stuff, but he delivered like a champ, so we tolerated it. I put together a short pitch for that video and emailed it to Mayor DeToy, Jessica, Dr. Johnson, and Chief LeBaron. A pretty intimidating distribution list for a parent volunteer to send out. And within about 90 minutes, every single one of them responded saying, "Great idea, I am in, where do you need me, when do you need me?" And I think in concept, it really embodies what Mayor Jackson's been talking about as far as partnerships, within the city. The amount of support that the Little League gets, from our community at large. In reality, there was no bigger demonstration of pride, partnership than last month when we were presented with an opportunity to host an exhibition baseball game at Clark Field between a Hermosa team and a crew of 14-year-old all-stars from Japan that don't speak any English whatsoever. The Clark Field had been closed and locked up for several weeks so that we could heal the grass in preparation for the AYSO season. I met with our exec board, said, here's the opportunity that we've got presented here. Do we want to put some energy into trying to make this happen? It's not going to be easy. And everybody was like, are you kidding me? Absolutely, let's go. So the next day, I sent an email to Lisa and Nick at Community Resources. Said, here's, if it's going to happen, it's got to happen in less than 2 weeks. And really all we need is for you to unlock Clark Field for 6 hours on this Wednesday. And if you can get that done, then we'll take care of everything else, on Tuesday, the following Tuesday, we had a note from Lisa saying we are good to go, we've got approval. And then shortly thereafter, it didn't take long, but all of a sudden we started getting all this feedback. Public Works is all fired up about this event. Hey, we're going to start mowing the grass, we're going to start watering, we're going to increase the watering schedule, we're going to start watering the infield, we're going to start nail dragging it. We want that diamond in pristine, plain condition by the time that these guys get here. 24 hours before the game itself, I got a random email from, Officer Burgos saying, hey, I heard about what you guys are doing. I'm excited about this game. Would you guys like a bunch of reserved parking, at the stadium at Clark parking lot tomorrow for the players, the visiting players? And it's like, oh my God, absolutely. By the time that the game kicked off at 11 a.m. on a random Wednesday in early August, there were literally hundreds of Hermosans there to take in this experience. Dozens of police officers, dozens of public works staff, community resources staff, parks commissioners, city council people, kids, families. It was... I have had the honor of witnessing thousands of magical moments at Clark Field, but this particular game was really, really at the top of the list. It was 1,000% beautiful and magical. It would be a much better story if we didn't get our asses kicked 6 ways from Sunday. Those Japanese guys play a very clean game of baseball, very sound fundamentals. Hermosa Beach Little League has been a cornerstone of the Hermosa community for close to 75 years. Fun fact, we were the very first Little League established in the South Bay in 1951. El Segundo was formed in 1954, which is adorable, I guess. Congrats on your World Series championship, I guess. The program, the Hermosa baseball program, has never been stronger than it is right now. I argue there is no other community event in the city of Hermosa Beach that attracts a higher concentration of Hermosa families and friends than Clark Field in the spring, and we sustain that event for 3 months. 25 to 30% of every single age-eligible kid in Hermosa played Hermosa baseball last season. More than 75 local businesses support and participate in league sponsorships. Nearly 100 volunteer coaches, 30 volunteer board members make the magic happen. From March to June, we host more than 1,000 games and practices at Clark Field, and a dozen special events like the Home Run Derby, Night at the Ballpark, and our brand new annual HBLL Alumni Night. We estimate, over those 3 months of our season, we estimate Clark Field gets more than 65,000 visits. Under Mayor Jackson's theme of progress, I want to highlight that, ironically, Clark Field is a pretty challenging place to actually watch a baseball game. And HBLL is fine-tuning an architectural proposal for the Parks Master Plan. We're working very closely with our crew. That would be a privately funded a concept that would dramatically improve the viewing experience at Clark Field, make the playing conditions safer for the kids, and add more than 2,500 square feet of new grass at Clark, which opens up all kinds of opportunities for AYSO and men's softball and everybody else that utilizes Clark Field. We are excited to unveil that proposal once it's ready for prime time. And finally, the Hermosa Beach Little League presidency is a 2-year term, and my 2 years are up. I'd like to introduce everybody to your next Hermosa Beach Little League president, Dave Schott. Go ahead and stand up, buddy.
Sorry,
Yeah, you're not getting off. You're not getting off easy. There you go. He's a Wibberley Award winner, longtime coach, longtime board member, longtime exec board member. The Little League is in great hands with Dave Schott, so very, very excited. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for your time up here.
Appreciate that. All right. Thank you, thank you. Welcome aboard, Shotty. Look forward to your press conference. Community volunteers. You know, volunteerism is the voice of the people put into action. These actions shape and mold the present into a future of which we can all be proud. Please join me in welcoming Liz Tindorf, an amazing Hermosa Beach mom, to the stage. Bring them all up, save a little time. There you go. I know you boys have homework to do.
And is this on?
Yeah. Oh, here. Yeah. It's on.
Thank you.
Here, you stand up front. You
Thanks,
go
sir.
front.
Oh, up front. I need to
Oh,
stand
you go
here
here.
because I got to see.
All right, boys.
Where's Catherine?
Right there. That's Catherine? Oh, I didn't see you, Catherine. I'm sorry.
you guys stand-
Liz
you guys
and
stand-
Catherine, co-directors.
Hi there. Thank you so much, Mayor Jackson, for inviting our great service group to this meeting. I'm Liz Tindorf, co-founder and co-director of Hermosa Hermanos, and this is my friend and co-founder and co-director, Catherine O'Connor. Hermosa Hermanos was founded in April 2022 by Hermosa Beach mothers to provide a 4-year commitment of service to boys in grades 9 through 12 who are Hermosa Beach residents or graduates of Hermosa Beach City School District, regardless of their high school choice. The charter members of Hermosa Hermanos class of 2026 is comprised of 25 boys who are now sophomores at Miracosta High School, Redondo Union High School, and Bishop Montgomery High School. Mothers partner with each other to run the club while the sons volunteer for local nonprofit agencies. Boys learn to manage their time, communicate, belong to a group, meet local nonprofit community members, gain a deeper connection to Hermosa Beach, and develop a lifelong love of service. Hermosa Hermanos' mission is enriching the lives of Hermosa Beach young men through volunteerism and community involvement with the support of their parents and mentors. While we are a young club, we pride ourselves in making our mark in the community. Sponsored by the Hermosa Beach Chamber of Commerce Foundation, the group members, mothers, and young men in grades 9 through 12 serve both Hermosa Beach and our local community organizations. I approached Jessie Accomando. I said, we need a sponsor for our hours. We need a nonprofit organization to sponsor our volunteering. And she didn't blink and said yes right away, so thank you. After our first launch in 2022, our class of 2026 received a Group Gold President's Volunteer Service Award from our work with 30 charities of over 1,209 volunteer hours over a 9-month period. Additionally, 16 boys received an individual Bronze Presidential Service Award for volunteering 50-plus hours. You may also have read about our ethos in South Bay Magazine, April 2023 issue, Faces of the Future, highlighting the impact that local teens are having on their communities and the world. We doubled in size in July by adding class of 2027. boys who have started volunteering for their 9th grade year, representing 4 local high schools. Additionally, we will be recruiting class of 2028 this fall, and we are always looking for new charities to serve. So if you are interested in joining or need volunteers, please visit our website, hermosahermanos.org, or follow us on Instagram, Hermosa Hermanos 90254. In 2003, the President's Council on Service and Civic Participation founded the President's Volunteer Service Award to recognize the important role of volunteers in America's strength and national identity. This award honors individuals whose service positively impacts communities in every corner of the nation and inspires those around them to take action. At our class of 2026 meeting last month, Mayor Jackson awarded the PVSA awards to the Hermosa Hermanos. I'm pleased to recognize these boys again who achieved a group gold level PVSA for their 9th grade year, and also many achieved individual bronze awards. So without further ado, I'd like to recognize AJ Waldfogel. Please raise your hand there. Bennett Sukus. Many of these boys are also in sports right now or activities, and a lot of these boys came straight from sports and haven't eaten dinner yet or done homework. So we're going to speed this along. Devin Sutton, Ethan Stearns, Griffin Tindorf, Harrison Brooks, Jack Pierce, Jackson Amar, Jake Neer, Krish Desai, Max Shantz, Nathan Williams, Owen Tindorf, Quinn O'Connor, Ryan Berger, Takashi Zaw, and we also have some boys that were one part of the Gold Award, which is Archer Olson, Connor Hennessy, Dane Zaya, Dimitri Kahadris, Dennis Geiger, Jack White, and Parker Stevens. Thank you, Mayor Jackson, for inviting us here this evening. I hope you will excuse us. Many of these boys came straight from practice. They haven't eaten dinner yet. They have lots of homework, so we're going to dismiss them now so that they can leave. Go ahead, guys. Thank you so much. Wait, get a picture.
First.
One moment.
Big thank you to Catherine and Liz for leading the charge. All right. Now you boys can't leave without the highly coveted Hermosa Beach pin to add to your collection. So as you exit stage right, please feel free to grab one. I want to see it on your uniforms tomorrow as you go to school. Instagram, hashtag Hermosa Beach, best little beach city. There we go. If you didn't have homework, we would actually pin them on you, but thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you. Thank you,
Thanks, Ray, we love you.
You're the best. Here, you got one. Oh, yeah. If you need more, let me
Some
know.
boys are
Oops.
at water polo. Thank you. Can I give you a hug?
You're awesome. Thank you so much. This is awesome.
All right, one more round of applause. All right, we're moving quickly now. You know, I moved here to Hermosa Beach in 2014 and quickly learned, moving from Florida, that the Pacific Ocean is no joke, and that being a lifeguard in California is a lot more than a summer job. It truly is a lifelong commitment, and one of the great many things about running for office and being in office is the opportunity to meet and later to work with so many great committed professionals that include our LA County beaches and harbors, as well as the men and women from the Los Angeles County Lifeguard Division of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. And anybody who's been to the beach after a busy weekend and sees the mess out there can appreciate our harbor and beaches and harbors who keep our beaches clean and sanitary for everybody. And of course, the lifeguards, the LA County lifeguards. So we're gonna take a few minutes this afternoon to introduce and honor some amazing LA County lifeguards. So I'm honored to introduce a man who epitomizes the committed county professional, who began his journey a few years back, like so many of our kids, our youth, in the best youth ocean and beach safety class, physical conditioning, basic first aid, environmental awareness, and all the land. LA County's junior lifeguard program, second to none. I've used that a couple times tonight, haven't I? But it truly is a one-of-a-kind, phenomenal program. So I'd like to introduce to you Chief A.J. Lester, also affectionately known as Mr. Kate Lester. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me, Mayor. Appreciate it. So my name's AJ Lester, Mr. Kate Lester, home if we have a business on Hermosa. You saw the South Bay magazine, she was on the cover this month, so good for her. But I work as a Marine Battalion Chief for Marine Battalion 100 for the Los Angeles County Fire Department Lifeguard Division. I am responsible from Marina Del Rey south to San Pedro, and I just happen to be the battalion chief and have an office right here in the most beautiful little beach city, Hermosa Beach. So I'll say that our lifeguards love working Hermosa. I was an ocean lifeguard in Hermosa. I was an ocean lifeguard specialist in Hermosa. And we have a very unique partnership with the city that's historic, which we'll go over in a little bit. I'd like to introduce longtime residents of Hermosa Beach and retired Section Chief Scott Davey and retired Captain Shannon Davey, who both live in the city and have retired from the lifeguard division. They're going to come up and give a brief talk. Shannon was actually my captain in Hermosa Beach when I was an ocean lifeguard, one of my mentors. So.
Good evening. I am so lucky and proud to have grown up in Hermosa Beach. Being part of this city made it a lifestyle, just being part of this little beach community. I'm also became a lifeguard back in 1980, right out of Miracosta High School. And then I was also one of the first 10 female lifeguards. When I retired in 2013, I was the captain, the headquarters captain, which was in charge of all the hiring for from San Pedro to Marina Del Rey, for the most part. And it was a wonderful experience. So that was 33 years on the job. The best part of it was being able to work with my neighbors and be a part of this community and the other beach city communities. And now, I've raised my family here, and I actually brought this guy to Hermosa Beach. So thank you, Hermosa.
Thank you. How lucky am I? So I know there's rumors out there, but I actually never dated her when she was a junior lifeguard. She was 18 years old. Everything was legal and above board. So I want to thank the mayor, the council, and the city staff for all the support they've given the lifeguards over the years. And Mayor Jackson, he asked Shannon and I to come up here and kind of bridge the gap between our current lifeguards and the historical yeah, thank you, I need that. Come over here and help me out a little bit. I guess the history of lifeguards in Hermosa. And believe it or not, most people don't know this, but LA County lifeguards have been lifeguarding the beaches of Hermosa since 1933, 90 years this year. And I think that Shannon, they asked us to bridge that gap, and unfortunately Shannon is too young to remember that. I'm old enough to remember that. The guys that started in the 30s and 40s, I actually worked for. They were my mentors. And my first day working in Hermosa in 1971, our lifeguard headquarters was where the chart house is now. And some of our older residents probably remember that. That new headquarters has only been here since 1971 or 72. So I'm not going to speak too much longer. We're used to being in the water where you can't hear and you can't talk very much. so I'm going to make this fairly short. Lifeguards are kind of a funny bunch. We are and have been deeply ingrained within this community for 90 years and quietly protecting Hermosa. We're not generally a very effusive group. We kind of try to do our work, go out surfing when we're supposed to, surf when we're not supposed to. Today in Hermosa, there's over 50 lifeguards who live here and who are residents. And there's somewhere just shy of 1 million junior lifeguards in Hermosa. We're your neighbors, we're friends. We've been protecting Hermosa 365 days a year for 24 hours a day. Hermosa's beach culture. We start that with surfing and the Surfers Walk of Fame. Well, I'm not sure if you knew, but the first surfers, the first 30 surfers from the Surfers Walk of Fame were all lifeguards. They started as lifeguards and then became surfers. Hap Jacobs, Greg Knoll, Dale Velzy, Dewey Weber, Bing Copeland, Rick Stoner, Corwin Brothers, Paul Matthews, Sonny Vardaman, the Maestrals, all with ties to Hermosa and LA County lifeguards. They pioneered life-saving, surfing, and inspired, mentored, and saved thousands and thousands of lives. And it's for Shannon and I, as Hermosans and retired lifeguards, it's so inspiring for us to see this latest generation of lifeguards, Aaron, John, Sydney, Sam, AJ, continuing that tradition of life-saving and being part of the Hermosa fabric. So thank you, Hermosa. We're very proud.
Thank you, Scott and Shannon. So on the next slide, he talked a little bit about the junior lifeguard program, and I'm actually disappointed that some of the Hermanos left because they look like they probably went through the program, and we could probably recruit them to be lifeguards here in the future. But just to give you a little bit of insight on what has been going on this past year for our junior lifeguard program in Hermosa Beach, we had Hermosa, we had 460 participants, 6 junior lifeguard instructors, and 8 cadets at our 16th Street Tower, which is on the north side of the Hermosa Pier. And then to the south at our Tim Kelly Tower on the south end of Hermosa, we had an additional 504 participants with 7 junior lifeguard instructors and 8 cadets. So there's roughly 4,000 junior lifeguards that are through all 72 miles of LA County coastline, and nearly 1,000 of them are within the city of Hermosa Beach. So the junior lifeguard program is an incredible program, and we thank you guys for the beach that teaches so many of our youth to be such incredible citizens and shepherds of our coastal community. So thank you. To the next slide. Just to do a quick overview, Chief Davey, I can't stop calling him Chief Davey, but Chief Davey talked a little bit about our operation. Shannon was a headquarters captain at our beautiful facility and headquarters that's right there on the south side of the Hermosa Pier at the base. Out of that facility, we have a 24-hour operation. So any time of the day, someone jumps off the pier, someone needs rescuing, we have a response that's coming from that headquarters, which is very unique to Hermosa because Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, other cities, Redondo Beach, they don't have a 24-hour operation that's right there in their city. So it's a pretty incredible asset for the city. And we have an Area 15 captain during our day operations, which is a captain that drives a Toyota Tacoma, along with our 2 ocean lifeguard specialists. And then we have 13 lifeguard towers that we operate throughout the summer season every single day, and then in the winter months based on weather, activity, and ocean conditions. So it's very cost effective in that if it's a cloudy, rainy day, we're not going to hire every single lifeguard and open every single tower. So it's a pretty incredible service that we provide, and we love to do it. Scott Davey talked about the type of people that are lifeguards, and even just seeing the children that are up here, it's public servants. It's people that make that rescue and that help that person in the time of need, and they don't hesitate, and they go and they save that life, right? So next slide, we'll talk about those rescues. So our activity, we did a 5-year stats for just the city of Hermosa Beach. And over those 5 years, we conducted 3,034 ocean rescues. We're very proactive in that we like to go out and walk around the beach. So if you ever come to Hermosa Beach, you see those lifeguards walking around. We prevent 361,418 preventative actions, which is trying to prevent someone from getting in that rescue situation. We had 5,000 emergency medical responses, 128,000 ordinances, 11,000 emergency vehicle responses, boat warnings with our Baywatch Redondo that's out of King Harbor, which is very close to the city of Hermosa. We reunited 149 missing persons and had 5,000 agency assists. So when you break that out, yearly average, we have 600 ocean rescues, 72,000 preventative actions, over 1,000 medical responses within the city of Hermosa, 25,000 ordinances, 2,000 emergency vehicle responses, 110 boat warnings, 29 missing persons reunited, and 1,163 agency assists. So we're very active out there. Like I said, we'd love to serve the public. We're appreciative of every opportunity that the city gives us, especially that beautiful headquarters that we have our 24-hour operation at. And we're going to highlight some folks that are in the audience tonight that had some pretty heroic acts, and we'll go to the next slide. So I didn't memorize this one, although I was there that day, but I'll talk about 3 of our lifeguards that actually were working a recruitment event on the pier and were able to perform a heroic act. So on May 28th of 2023, this past summer, Ocean lifeguards Sydney Brower, John Pierce, and Aaron Swift were working at an LA County Fire Department Lifeguard Division recruitment booth teaching CPR and recruiting to the public. It was Memorial Day weekend, and the Hermosa Beach Pier Plaza was packed, as it usually is during those types of holiday weekends. The team responded to an unresponsive male and observed members of the public performing CPR on that individual. Well, Brower and Pierce took over compressions and, finding no pulse or respirations, attached an AED and shocked the patient a total of 3 times. Lifeguard Rescue 100 and LA County Fire Squad 100 arrived and stabilized the patient with advanced ALS care. The patient was transported to a local area hospital. Due to the instant and professional response by OLs Brower, Pierce, and Swift in the midst of an extremely chaotic and crowded scene, the patient was successfully resuscitated and survived the incident. So Sydney, John, and Aaron, we'd like to please get you up on stage and recognize your heroic act. Thank you. And the mayor has a special presentation here.
I think red looks good on you. I don't know why, but all right, there you go. Everyone else who needs one, Chamber of Commerce sells them.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Put them on, put them on.
Here we go.
Oh, here.
Oh, you gotta get one too?
Good. I was going to give it to you later, but you can have it now.
All right, here we go. We got a small head. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Next presentation, we'd like to do a short video, and this one's a little bit heartfelt, but you'll see within the video we had another incredible act from one of our local residents who grew up here in the city of Hermosa Beach. So we'll play the video.
Hi, I'm Sam O'Hare. I'm a Los Angeles County Ocean Lifeguard Specialist. In regards to the incident that happened at White's Point, which is a really cool little pocket beach in San Pedro, also known as Royal Palms. It has a lot of awesome history and it's very unique. It was in March. There was a day where it was just nice and quiet. There was families barbecuing. It was just a good day. And then we had the incident.
And more breaking news now, this time in San Pedro. Police are investigating a shooting on West Paseo del Mar, right next to the beach.
When the incident went down, I happened to be closing up my tower at the end of the day. It was getting dark, and I was getting ready to leave White's Point. So I heard the first 2 shots. I looked over. I saw an individual running who then was followed by a couple more shots, and that individual went down. And there's that moment where it seemed like everything stood still, and just like a collective whole, everybody in the parking lot kind of realized, oh my God, people are shooting each other. And the entire parking lot just exploded into chaos. At which point, things got real scary. So when I decided to turn my lights on and start moving, there was the choice to either leave, then the other choice was to head towards the shooting. And when I looked around and I saw families with kids and how scared they were, I wanted to make sure that I could provide the help that I could, and that by being present and showing that I'm there, hopefully calm things down a little bit. So I started making my way towards the shooting and directing people away. You know, I had donned my bulletproof vest, which is so funny because I never thought I would have to put that on. And now I'm faced with multiple victims of varying degrees of injuries, and I'm the only resource there with any type of medical training, so I got to work. So after updating LA with the number of patients from my triage, I started treating the patients, and my first one that I got to was that I knew that I could do something immediately to help this individual, was provide a tourniquet. After that, it was compression bandages, identifying exactly entry and exit wounds, really getting into the nitty-gritty or the finer points of just doing patient care. Once PD and other resources showed up and took control and they were able to take over patient care, I got to step away, and I mean, there was just that moment of this realizing how surreal this incident was, and I think back and I just am proud of the fact that I chose to help people when things got scary, and I just hope that I did some good.
So I'd like to bring up Ocean Lifeguard Specialist Sam O'Hare.
You got one. Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you very, very much. It's great to be in a room of people that do, and one of our mottos is when in doubt, go. And it's great to be a part of this, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you to the City of Hermosa Beach. They've been incredible partners. The lifeguards love you guys, and we're always here to help. Come and call us anytime, or reach out on the beach. Okay, to Davey.
Yeah, Davey. Thank you, LA County Lifeguards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing. Wow, incredible stories. All right, bear with me. Thank you all. I was a little overzealous, I think, with the programming this evening. I apologize. Thank you. I know it's close to 9 and many of us fall asleep, and Ann is like, dear God, I told you it's too long. And I said, we're gonna make it happen, Ann, I promise. 8 o'clock, we're done. 8-ish. Our community was crushed with sad passings of so many outstanding Hermosans this past year. Casey Rohr, Richard McCurdy, Jeff Hirsch, just to name a few. We had the in memoriam slides that were rotating early on. I hope you got to take a few minutes to pause and to think about those that we've lost. In a small town this size, the pain and sadness reverberates with every passing. We were all recently heartbroken at the passing of a man who epitomized everything that we love about Hermosa Beach and our South Bay community. A man who someone said was love in human form, who made it his mission to tell everyone around him all the time that he loved them. He connected with everyone. He listened deeply, he cared deeply, and he stepped up as a real doer and a leader in our community. Kevin Sousa, the unofficial and forever mayor of Hermosa Beach. He was simply the best.
Kevin would always say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
He just knew that his mission was to heal as many lives as we could together.
There was a secret chord. David prayed and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music.
I still feel him all around me.
Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Kevin taught me I am enough. We are enough.
Sobriety is where Kevin found his calling.
Since he became a therapist, he's helped so many people.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby.
I loved our entire journey together.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
This moment, yeah, this time is all we have.
I'll honor him by living, and I will love him forever. I love all of you for loving Kevin.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me, Patty Sousa. Thank you so much.
Get any easier. So I'm using my notes.
Thank you, Mayor Jackson, for honoring Kevin tonight. It means a great deal to me. It's a beautiful sentiment for Mayor Jackson to think of Kevin when he speaks of pride, partners in progress for Hermosa Beach. My wish for Hermosa and this community is that we strive to live like Kevin did, to give love freely, to extend a hand to those who need it, and encourage anyone with an idea or a dream to take the next step towards it with confidence and to be of service to the community that you live in. Most of all, I hope we can all live amongst each other on a strong foundation of kindness. We are all more alike than I think we acknowledge at times, and I hope that we can thrive together regardless of inevitable differences along the way. Thank you to all of you who loved Kevin. Thank you to Mayor Jackson for including Kevin's memory in the program tonight and for giving me the opportunity to also say thank you to city staff and the city council for making that day possible. The city staff took a lot of time and effort to really look at our vision and for the celebration of life on June 25th. The beauty of the day, a bit of which you just saw in that video, was only possible because of your willingness to vet our vision and make your recommendation to City Council on an incredibly short timeline. My heartfelt thank you also goes to the members of the City Council for approving the plans for the day. It meant so much to me that you thoughtfully considered what we were asking for. It's not lost on me that this was a special request, and I don't take it for granted. Not only was your support a testament to who Kevin was in this community, it was a gift to so many members of this very community along with Kevin and my families. Bringing everyone together the way that we did and so soon after his passing was very healing for us, and for me personally, it was incredibly comforting and helpful for my family and friends to be able to celebrate Kevin in that way. I will be forever grateful that this community could do that together, and most of all, that he was who he was in his physical life. But he's still in all of us, and I thank you for the opportunity to say thank you.
On behalf of the city, I'd like to present you with a small token of sympathy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more time, please, for Patty Sue. So thank you, Patty. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for hanging on till the end. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Patty. I couldn't have asked for a better way to end it. And, may we all channel our inner Kevin Sousa as we leave here, think through what he meant to each and every one of you and what he meant to our community. As I said, he was simply the best. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for what you all do for our community. And as we leave here, let's continue to think about what we can do to continue to make Hermosa Beach the best little beach city. So thank you, thank you, thank you.